Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Hello, Anna, and welcome all of you as listeners to us today.
And we will talk about how to grow your firm, part one.
This is going to be the inside view. What do we have to do inside our business in order to grow?
I know, Michael, that a lot of small business owners, we are so impatient sometimes to grow. And we are growing, but a lot of times we're not prepared, or we are wondering, when should I hire the new person? Or should I hire a new person? What should I do? So that's what we will be talking today with Michael, looking into your internal infrastructure. I know we were wondering, should we use that word? How to build your business to be successful and scale up.
And we're really talking about all the parts that we need to pay attention to. And I think sometimes when we see that dollar waving in the breeze, we want to run after it and grab it. And we forget that we have to have some things behind us, like people and machinery, and a space to put all of that, and all the other things that go into operating our business at a way that it can grow, that it can get bigger, that it can serve more customers.
In some financial resources, I will add to the list, and supply or supply chain, extremely important right now. I'm sure that you heard about the troubles right now every business owner has with the supply chain, marketing and sales. So Michael, what should we do first?
First, I think you need to sit back and ask yourself, if I'm going to grow this firm a little bit, do I have some surplus capacity? Can I grow and make more or provide more services with what I have? Or do I have to add something? And if I have to add something, what am I going to have to add in order to serve more customers or deliver more product? We really ought to have a list of that. We don't think about it. We're eager for the sales, as Anna and I just said. So make that list. What are the parts that go into offering more products or delivering more services? You ought to have a list, because it makes you think about where you have to grow some inside resources in order to grow outside and serve more customers.
And write it down. A lot of times we will be like, oh, I know that, and it's in your head. Oh, it's in my head. No, write it down, because we want to make sure that you're very specific. In fact, Michael, I think we should give some suggestions to our listeners. What should be on their list and why this should be on their list. We know that some items on this list will not apply for certain companies. If you're in service related or, manufacturing, may apply some things, but not the other one. So I think we should provide them with some, at least initial list, and everyone should add specific items on the list also.
Well, one question I'd have, for example, you need materials, whether it's glue if you're a woodworking shop, or it's other things that go into making your product. How quickly can you get more of that if you needed it? Can your vendors give you more for your materials that you need for your product than you have right now? You need to know that before you even start thinking about growing. What kind of equipment do you have? Some equipment's easy to get. You can go out to the local hardware store. Some equipment you have to buy 3 months ahead. Some of it has to be brought in by a big truck. Some you can carry in your car. All those things affect how fast you can grow your business.
So the next, I think they should add people. And when you talk about people resources, you have to make sure that you identify very detailed who should you add, what skills this person should have, and how many hours they should work. Honestly, because it will be part-time, full-time, all these things needs to be attached, because this is some kind of variable cost you all the time have to attach to your pricing when you're pricing your product or services.
And here's a little challenging piece of that. Let's say I hire 5 people I need, each with a different skill than I need in my machine shop. At some point, it gets big enough. And remember, I'm the small business owner. I'm wearing these hats. I'm the HR person, I'm marketing, I'm financial affairs, and I'm the business owner. Do I need to hire a manager? And at what point do I have to hire a manager? Because I hired 3 more skilled people who's going to make sure they're doing their work? So it gets a little complex sometimes. So we have to think through all of that. And the question would be, how much growth in sales do I have to pay for this extra machine, or hiring 2 people, or maybe even hiring another manager level person? Those are the complications, but you have to think about them before you jump out and offer more products to one or more customers.
You have to also consider, if you're expanding and if you would like to expand, space resources.
Yeah.
Is your current space suitable for your growth, or do you need to move? And how fast you can move if you start scaling up? So again, this is few things on the list we wanted, and we mentioned the supply chain, the marketing resources, financial resources, also cash or line of credit you need, and insurance. A lot of people forget about insurance. You should buy, or you should revisit your current insurance and make sure that it covers you for the additional production you may have, or additional labor you should have, and make sure that you identify what will be cost per hour, true cost per hour, when you're hiring a new person. And then once you create the list, Michael, what should we do the next step?
I want to propose 2 things. One, I want you to think very carefully about your financial situation. You mentioned that just a little bit ago. Do you have a good relationship with your banker? Do you have enough room in your line of credit to add these things in order to then increase your production of your product? Do you have a reserve that you can tap into? Can you give up some income in order to produce more product, because you have to spend money on another hand tool or another machine? So you need to be very aware of your financial situation to know whether you can grow. That's all part of this internal thinking process you're doing. And now I'd ask you the tough question. If I want to make 5 more products today than I made yesterday, how many of these parts that we've just talked about, from machines and equipment and materials and space and people, how much is it going to cost me in those things to produce 5 more products today? I need to know that before I step out there and decide I'm going to produce 5 more products, because I need to know, if I sell those products, how much money will they make, and how much of that will help cover the cost of these things I have to add to make 5 more products today. So that's a real challenge. You need, what Anna and I are both arguing is, don't jump ahead and just start making 5 more products and say, oh boy. No, you need to think this through with caution, because suddenly 2 things can happen that I've seen with firms. Either you promise them 5 more products and suddenly you can't deliver, and they become discouraged about you and they don't come back. They don't even talk to you in the future. Or you make those 5 products, but in fact, you have to sell them at a price that doesn't cover your costs, and you've lost money. Mm-hmm. That's what we're trying to help you think through.
So what I'm hearing, Michael, you suggest also is, once we make the list, we put a price next to every single item and make sure that you calculate, does it make sense to scale up with 5, like in Michael's example, 5 additional items, or should we wait to have another contract to have like 10 products, because maybe 10 is a better way for you to produce that.
To achieve economies of scale.
Yes, economies of scale. Yes. It will be, you'll be in a better position to do so. Yes.
I should explain that term a little bit too, because that's a big term, but you get more efficient the more you do something. So sometimes you have to have a little bigger machine to be more efficient, to make more money per unit that you produce, because the machine's a better machine, it's faster, or your people get more efficient in doing it. You don't know those things. So one of the things you also have to think about when you grow your business, it's rarely this nice, so okay, if I add 1 more of this and 2 of that and 3 of that, it's rarely that smooth and easy. You take these big steps and then you struggle a bit, and then you take another big step and struggle a bit. It's not clean and easy. It's a challenge, and you'll have to learn in the process of this how you do that.
I heard that it's like a staircase all the time. You just go, and then you have climbed and
you have to jump up to
jump
that
up another level. Yes. But we just wanted to make sure that you're prepared. It's important when you're ready, and we guarantee you'll be ready once you look at the list, once you put the pricing in your head, you'll have the plan and write it down. We've talked about in the past, it is important.
And as you do that writing, keep in mind also, how fast can I get these things that I need? More people, that's tough to hire today, more equipment, more materials, more machines. Maybe another truck will be needed to deliver things. Who knows? Those are all those complicated things you have to think about before you set yourself on that course of growth that we're going to talk about next time. We're going to come back with growth strategies, which is looking outside.
Thank you so much for listening to us. Hopefully, we gave you 1 or 2 ideas today to implement to scale up your business.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.